Whatever you do, please don't drop your brush into a jar and leave it there. The bristles will bend and it'll be so hard to get them back again, if ever. It's the worst thing you can do to a brush. And yet we've all done it. I've wrecked so many brushes, I can't even tell you. But every day of my life, I am more careful with all my brushes. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how to do that. So when you get a brand new brush, you have this plastic cover on it, which is fantastic because it keeps the brush protected in transit, and you wouldn't want to buy a crooked brush, would you? So these protect it. You can either throw it out. Whatever you do, don't put it back onto the brush because chances are that you won't get all the bristles in there and then you'll wreck the brush. But what you can do is keep it for a rainy day and maybe you can create a special tool out of this. Now it's very, very stiff because it has gum arabic on it, binder in watercolor paints, also a medium to keep the brush firm on the outside, and it does other things in painting as well that we'll cover another day. But now we need to soften this brush to make it ready for use. So we just wiggle it around in water. Sometimes it takes a bit to soften it. We can press on it once, but I mean once. You don't need to do it twice. Look, it's already beautifully soft. It's a beautiful point. This is a brand new Paulina Bright round brush. And now I'm just going to twirl it on the paper towel and leave it there. And now this brush is ready for use. So at the end of my painting session, when I've finished having a lot of fun, I'll wash my brush in my water. So I've gone and changed my water containers and tap it and then into a clean container. And then I know that my brush is super nice and clean. And then I'll roll it on the towel and then I will squeeze the water out and shape it, and it'll be great for the next day. There we go. I've had this particular sable brush for 8 years now, and it's doing really, really well. I like to clean my brushes with this special little kit I bought, Kit Pulizia Pinelli Brush Cleaning Kit. I don't know how to say it, sorry, but it's designed with the artist in mind. It consists of a cleansing pad and a vegetable mini soap. Yeah, so I wanted to carry all this in this little container. So the pad was circular before. I've just cut 2 sides off, and I've also cut my soap in half so that I can keep it for next time. So there's half in there and half in the box. So what I do to clean my brush is I've wet my brush and just go backwards and forwards on the soap, and then a few actions on the mat, just crisscross. You can also go around in circles, and this little mat is very gentle, yet it still cleans the brushes very well. So now all I have to do is rinse it, and then I'll do it another time, and then I'll spin it between my fingers a little, and then I put it to the side. All my brushes ready, and then I'll go to the sink and I'll rinse out the brush. I always like to wash my brushes under a little bit of running water, getting all the soap out like that and spinning it around on my hand, just like a figure 8, all round and round, and then spin it a little like this. And then I like to squeeze the water out, and then it's time to reshape the bristles back into a point. Again, I'll leave my brush out to dry, and it won't be hitting against anything. Look what will happen. the brush will bend and stay that way. So now I'm quickly going to fix that. Dip it in water and spin it around, get the excess water out and shape it nicely to a point. And when it's completely dry, then I can place it upright in a container. There are several reasons why you shouldn't leave a wet brush in a vertical position. Even when you're just painting and changing your brush, don't leave it up, and certainly not down in a jar. Always place it down on your table or in a brush holder if you have one. What happens is, even worse than just water, paint pigments, little particles along with the water can travel down the ferrule to the belly, and little bits of pigment will settle amongst the hairs, separating them, and you'll never be able to maintain that perfect point again. Then the glue that binds the bristles together in the ferrule will weaken and you'll start to lose hairs. You could even get a little bit of mold in there, which you'll never get out. And the ferrule will separate from the handle and come apart. It's just one big disaster. It'll just come apart. Not a pretty sight. Now, when you're leaving your brushes to dry, if you want to get more creative, as long as the brush isn't turned up this way, you can peg them to something that faces downwards. Now, here's a special announcement. You do more damage to your brushes when you don't use them than when you do use them. So enjoy them. You can be a little bit rough with them. You can do all sorts of things. It's just when you put them away in a safe way so that they're ready for a new artistic journey. So look, don't worry if a lot of your brushes or some of your brushes look as bad as these. Nothing to worry about, because in our next video, I'll show you how we can make fantastic tools out of the old dead brushes, give them a new lease of life, and improve our paintings dramatically. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next time.